Yeah. Welcome to This Week in Pop Culture. We're going to be talking about Knight Rider and Kit, some DC stuff for you guys, Ray Fisher, some Batwoman, Kevin Feige, WandaVision, lots more, guys. This is This Week in Pop Culture. Stay tuned. Yeah. Welcome to another fun, exciting edition right here of This Week in Pop Culture. My name is Arash Zandieh. With me, as always, is the talented Sammy Castillo.
Hey guys.
Right next to her would be the Mayhem himself, Michael Mayhem.
It's me. Hi.
Right. And finally back after a lovely long trip, the lovely, the talented Leslie Frye. And you can catch this green man blockbustering every Sunday here at This Week of Pop Culture. That's Mr. Michael Bergy himself. I like when it freezes every now and then. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. I know Leslie has been here, so I guess Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Three Kings Day for anyone who is still celebrating Christmas. Nice to see the whole team back, right? Everyone's excited.
Hey.
Right, let's get to the fun stuff, and that is literally the cream of the crop, and that would be Ray Fisher's out, and Warner Brothers and DC is moving forward. That's right. Warner Brothers has provided an update on the Ray Fisher investigation. Some details have emerged as a former federal judge was brought in to coordinate the entire thing along with an outside law firm. There was a ton of back and forth between the actor and the company for their handling of the investigation. Fisher has constantly admitted that Walter has been in the wrong. However, the company says nothing of the sort occurred. Along with that bombshell, it has been reported that Cyborg may have been written out of the Flash movies for upcoming projects. Justice League investigation sort of still continues, but it seems that Fisher is still jabbing in those little things and still trying to get someone fired. Sammy, let's start with you. You think it's a smart move by DC just distancing themselves away from Ray Fisher, or is there more to come with this?
I think thanks to the way things have been handled in Hollywood since the start of the Me Too movement, the adage basically has become if you're accused of anything, the company will completely distance themselves of you. And also, if you're a troublemaker, they will, what they consider a squeaky wheel, you'll get distanced, which is really rather terrible. I doubt personally that they wrote him out of the script. I mean, the Flash script has been rewritten like 4 or 5 times now, at least. And I don't see Warner Brothers, they finally said they had a script. So I can't see them saying, hey, let's rewrite it just to write out this character. That logistically and monetarily doesn't really make much sense. But if they did, then, it's just them trying to avoid any sort of fallout from, trying to recast his character because, they've distanced themselves from him. So, it's how they don't handle things very well in DC and Marvel or Warner Brothers.
We've seen that time and time again. Mayhem, your thoughts on the Ray Fisher, and you think DC's moving forward?
If they move forward, that kind of speaks volumes to an extent. Remember, Ray Fisher, this all started when Ray Fisher accused, director Joss Whedon of, gross, abusive, professional behavior. And, he got the green light, man. He was out here like telling the people how it was. First of all, Ray Fisher, I think as an actor, is great because when I went and I saw the Justice League movie, I was very interested in Cyborg. I've never been interested in Cyborg beforehand. Okay. And to a point where when all this was coming out, if you watch Twitter, a lot of people were like, Ray Fisher is our cyborg. We need an origin story. We need whatever, another movie of him because he is our cyborg. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm with it. But for them to write him out, which is most likely what they'll do, or then maybe whatever's in his contract, they'll probably have him cameo or whatever. It just shows like how much they feel like they can get away with, honestly, because nobody's ever come forward and be like, you know what, we're sorry, we made a mistake, we're looking into it. It's just all been kind of swept under the rug, and now they're writing him out to make him look like the bad guy when he called out in Justice League. Wow, imagine that.
Yeah, imagine a little bit of injustice right there. Leslie, with I guess the back and forth that's happening within DC, what do you think would be the best ramification for something like this?
Honestly, I mean, with everything that's been going on in this country and the racial divide that's been happening in this country, Warner needs to look at its policies as far as dealing with people of color. If you write this man out of this series of the Flash it's coming out, it's speaking volumes to people of color who are looking for that representation in film. And we love Ray Fisher. We loved him in there. And obviously, we know how things work in Hollywood. If somebody is exhibiting bad behavior, if Joss Whedon was exhibiting bad behavior and he decided to speak about it, so be it. He's not the squeakiest wheel in Hollywood. So it's not like he should be this completely ostracized. I think people are afraid to speak up about Joss Whedon because of how much power he wields in Hollywood. It's sad to say because he's not the first person that has made comments about Joss Whedon's behavior on set. So, I understand that to completely write him out of the storyline and not to recast him, to me, is the most important thing right here. Because they could have done a whole new thing like they did in the Avengers, with Iron Man. They could have done a complete recast and no one would have been the wiser for it. We would have been happy. We would have been sad that it wasn't Ray Fisher. We would have seen his career go on and on, otherwise, but we would support a person of color in that role. People want to see that cyborg story, Ray Fisher or not. They want to see it because if you look at it, DC is looking mighty white right now.
Right. It's a big, it's like a big shift as well too, especially with the way things are going. Bergy, let's end it with you with the whole DC Fisher, and what do you think would be the best course?
I mean, in my personal opinion, best course of this is they had an independent outside, source came in and looked at it. They were a former, federal judge. They brought in former lawyers, things like that to go through the whole thing. My curiosity is, I understand Ray Fisher, like it is a squeaky wheel, and that's why they're basically ostracizing him, which I don't think is right. But also at the same time, where are some of the other actors that were on the movie that are not backing him up on this? Why isn't somebody like Ben Affleck coming forward? Why isn't someone like Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot? They're not coming forward on this. So it makes me wonder a little bit as to how bad are they being, forced in with their contracts and stuff like that, like an NDA agreement. And then it's kind of leaving Ray out there on a ledge by himself, which I don't think is right because I actually like him as Cyborg. I always loved the Cyborg character from Young Justice, from Teen Titans and stuff like that. And I was actually happy to see that they were starting to go with more serious role for it. And I love the guy that plays him. I met him at Rhode Island Comic Con a couple of years ago. Absolute nice guy, like super nice guy to meet and chat with. Big fan of the comics as well. Fan of pretty much everything, DC. So to see him now just to be like kind of throw aside like he's just yesterday's garbage, I don't think is right. If they're going to recast it. But if they're doing this to spite him, to spite a character that could be used in the DC universe and is a key integral role for a lot of stuff and a lot of storylines that they could tell, I think this is a poor move on DC's part. And I agree with Leslie on this, where it's looking mighty white up there in DC and it's not looking very good for them. They got to take a page out of what Marvel's doing and get diversity back and get the right characters and right, cast, actors, directors, writers, everything. And DC is a hot mess.
Right.
And
Well, this is for everyone. Will this hurt DC in the long run? If Ray Fisher is removed from all other projects, I see two heads saying yes, and I see a third head saying yes. I guess we'll continue on. It seems like DC has a lot on their hands of making the right decision, and I guess everyone is hoping that DC does make the correct decision by keeping Fisher just on to figure new things out. Into some more stuff and everything. Batwoman debuts, yes, and just next week, ladies and gentlemen, a little over a week from now, which is technically next Sunday, DC fans will be greeted with the return of CW's Batwoman after the series was off the air for the better part of last year due to the ongoing COVID pandemic, and the hit show will be returning with some significant fanfare, especially surrounding the new lead, which is Ray Wilder, is set to be introduced to take on the mantle of Batwoman in season 2, following the departure of Ruby Rose's Cat Kane, with a lot of hype and speculation surrounding how Ryan will make her debut. Batwoman season 2 will premiere next Sunday on July 17th, but on the CW network. Sammy, let's start with you. Are you excited for the new Batwoman season 2? And I guess we're going to see the transition from the previous Batwoman to the new Batwoman.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. She, looking at the stills and photos that they've released, she looks great. And they're bringing her in an interesting way where they're leaving what happened to Kate kind of like, as a mystery. And, Ryan just is kind of like a on the fringe, thiefy thug type character. And she happens upon the suit. And the interesting thing is that they are bringing in Bruce Wayne on the small screen. And so having him with her is going to be a really strong introduction for the character. And we finally get to see like Bruce Wayne in this universe that they've hinted about since middle seasons of Arrow. So I'm really excited to see, how integral a part Bruce Wayne is going to be in the beginning of her, coming in and him coming to try and get the suit and, that sort of dynamic duo that might come out of it to guide her further on into the season. So I'm really excited for it. And she looks really cool in it. So I can't wait to see what happens. I hope it goes up and not sideways.
No, like we've seen the pictures. It looks completely, it looks badass.
Even the suit looks better. Like they've redesigned the suit and everything.
Yes. Mayhem, your thoughts on Batwoman season 2?
So, do you guys know the last name of the woman is Leslie, right? And I was just like, she did it. She finally did. Listen, I'm more excited because what's happening is they're describing her as untamed, like nothing like Ruby Rose, like nothing like Kate Kane, like she's the type to live in a van supposedly with her plant, but she'll steal like milk from an alley cat. That brings on, to me personally, character, because we kind of know, the psychics to kind of be like they had something happen in their lives and then they picked up by Bruce Wayne. He's out here saving these people and all this other stuff, but they're kind of to an extent polished, with the exception of like Damian Wayne and Jason Todd and whatnot, right? Batwomen now kind of like take that role where it's like we can be just as gritty as you are and we can show you another side of it. I'm looking forward to seeing her blow it out the water. I'm looking forward to see her act her chops off and just be like, here's another spot. Here's another spin on Batman psychics. Everybody thinks they're perfect, but they're not. And it's just like, I can't wait. I think she's going to kill it. Like Sammy and Hash said, definitely. The suit looks amazing. I really think this is like the TV series is where DC and CW shine together. So I'm looking forward to seeing, honestly, them introducing new elements that we may have never thought of. And who knows? Maybe we'll get Ruby Rose back. Maybe a cameo. I don't know if we care for it, but it might be something worth looking at. Is all I'm saying.
Right, because if it has the chase of Batman coming in and wondering where Kate went, where did Kate go? But Leslie, your thoughts on the mantle change, this interesting storyline, and to be honest, the way they describe for season 2 an eye catcher, is a grabber.
Yeah, Leslie, tell us all about it.
Well, I had the opportunity of actually being actually asking a question of Javicia Leslie at the Urban Action Showcase this year, and the girl is committed. That's all I got to say. She is committed to this role, which I cannot say for Ruby Rose. One of the biggest issues that I had with Ruby Rose taking on the mantle is that she seemed awkward in that role. Javicia Leslie is not awkward in this role. The girl is going to blow it out the water. And not only that, one thing that everybody is, not mentioning here is the fact that this character, Ryan is very messy, and she's openly gay, which is something else. As another aspect that we're bringing into this person's personality, her character and her personality. This is going to be dynamic. And I couldn't honestly, no disrespect to Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose is who she is, and she's got the look to play an action figure, but she just cannot commit to being action.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my feeling. But no disrespect for her. But I am looking for Javicia Leslie's Ryan Wilder. I'm looking for this character, and like I said, having the opportunity to actually speak to her, she is committed to this role.
But Les, if you remember from the John Wick movie, Ruby Rose says to John Wick, "I'll be seeing you soon," and
she was even bad in that.
I know.
Require her to stand around, walk around, and look pretty, and then go.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That is exactly what it was. But I did not believe her one bit in that role.
Bergy, I'll be seeing you soon.
Right.
Yeah. I hope you will, buddy.
Bergy, continue on, please.
I'm actually looking forward to the character, like Ryan Wilder, her character. I like the way they're describing her. She was like a drug runner, so she's someone from the streets, so she knows the ins and outs of a lot more of the inner working of the city and stuff in Gotham. I think his character is going to be a little bit better suited towards than the way Ruby Rose ran it. Because I'm sorry, Ruby Rose, there's cardboard cutouts that can act better than her. Like, it's just horrible. She's not good at all. I'm intrigued with that to see what they're going to do, what type of storylines they might introduce with her character and her background. I'm also looking forward to the Batman introduction of Batman as basically an adult, not a angsty little teen that was on the Gotham show, which I did like, but now we're going to see him more as an adult. Keep in mind, we're also seeing that this guy that's supposedly playing Bruce Wayne could be a double, because it's the person that does from the last series, which was, I can't remember his name for the life of me right now, the character, but he's basically, they're going to get a new face for him, and he's going to look like Bruce Wayne. So now we're going to get Bruce Wayne, and we're going to get this other one that's basically playing two roles for it. So to see that now as Batman on the screen, I'm intrigued. Are we actually going to see Batman in the suit? Because he wants his suit back from her. So obviously she made some adjustments to it. He's not going to fit in it. So let's see what they might do for a new suit for him. What other characters could be introduced? I'd like to see some different villains. Let's get some more diverse characters in there. Get some stuff that we've never really seen much, and just open up the storyline. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan of CW, so I'd like to see what they can do and what this might lead into for future episodes and future series.
Yeah, but like I guess we'll see. But I guess like with the suit missing and it being the original Batwoman suit, and then having like Bruce Wayne, it kind of reminds me of of Titans, where they finally put in Bruce Wayne just to deal with Dick Grayson's sort of daddy issues that they it's like the ongoing thing of Batman. It's like the worst thing to ever talk about. It is the Bruce Wayne, Batman, Robin. I guess now Batwoman has now a daddy issue, or does Batman have a daddy issue because of the fact that one of his prized possessions, which is his suit, or one of his children, kind of go ham? Go ahead, Sammy.
Well, I think the fact of them bringing Batman in, or they specifically, anything that I read about this specifically said Bruce Wayne,
right,
not Batman. But bringing him in, I don't think it's necessarily a daddy issue thing, because Ryan is not a goody two shoes. She's out for herself. She's a drug runner. She lives in her van. She's used to being wily and serving her own needs. I think Bruce is going to be that mentor character that's going to push her in the direction of, moving down the path of Batman, basically, where that he's going to pull her out of her, very selfish mindset, where she's going to use the suit for her own personal gains and then push her down that, hero path. Because as it stands as a character, the way that it's been described, there has to be a significant event for her to go down that hero path. So we want to follow her, because we're not going to follow a character that's, out to use the suit for themselves. So I think Bruce Wayne coming in is going to be that catalyst to push her over to that hero path.
That sounds like a Robin storyline right there, what you just said. I mean, it
Well,
sounds like every
yeah,
Robin storyline that has.
Maybe.
Daddy issue, though. You
I
said
mean,
daddy issues. That's not
right.
daddy issues.
But
She
she's
doesn't
a she's.
necessarily have daddy issues.
Do you remember
we
when the
know of.
Robin? Do
That
you
we
remember
know
when the
of.
Robin stole a Robin suit to play hero? That's happened multiple times with multiple Robins, where the Robin suit happens to be sitting there, and what do? They get a hold of the Batcave, and a Robin suit goes missing. That also leads into Terry McGinnis, which we won't go to that part as well too. Mayhem, let's finish up with you, and then we'll go to the next subject.
Although I want to see her work more on this and other projects, obviously, I think I'm hoping they do damn, I can't think of the name, but like a 1-season thing where it's like you think you know where everything is going, and then it just like ends on cliffhangers. Like here it is, Sammy just introduced the idea that Bruce Wayne is pretty much going to be a background figure, which I'm okay for.
Right.
Don't have Bruce Wayne, Batman, take the shine from this woman. Let her shine as Batwoman, right?
Don't have Batman, just have Bruce Wayne.
Right, exactly. Don't even. But obviously, he's going to be speaking as Batman to her to some extent.
Correct.
But hear me. What if we all think she's gonna put on the suit or whatever, but she never really becomes Batwoman? What if she becomes her own vigilante, but uses kind of like that mantle to do her own thing, and she's like struggling with becoming a vigilante and hero, or just kind of like borderline a villain? You understand? Like I'm just saying. I know she's committed,
right?
But I want to see it like play out like that, because we're all expecting her to become Batwoman. What if she never really becomes it?
That's not the purpose of her being Batwoman.
Right.
But that's the whole point. That makes I think that's great. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I feel that yes, that Bruce Wayne is going to be there and be a steady force for her. Yeah. But it's not going to be her arc, or when she becomes more committed to this role, is going to take some time. And I think that that's what we're going to enjoy, is the journey of this woman switching it up. And I think getting to know her relationships, getting to know her her character, seeing scenarios that she gets herself in, that Bruce Wayne gets her out of, this kind of thing. This is what we're going to see. And we're going to enjoy that ride. We're going to enjoy it. So I see her fully being committed to that. But let's look at it from this perspective. Bruce Wayne himself is an anti-hero.
Right. Yeah.
Everything that he has done has been, to some extent, questionable. His methods are questionable. So I think that he's going to see that in her. He's going to see a little bit of himself in her, or a side of himself in her. And that is why he is going to be that steadying force for her, that voice of reason for her.
Yeah. Well, as Leslie has some hopes for the new Batwoman series that she'll definitely be checking out, or has it on DVR, because, it airs the same time we're on. So set your DVRs, guys. But as everyone has some hopes for Batwoman, some of you guys have hopes for Superman. Yeah, that's right. Fans of DC Comics movies are not known to be quiet or easily silent. Yeah, this one right there. They're passionate and outspoken, and sometimes they get their way. In the case of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the DC Comics ensemble movie is seeing the original version released for HBO Max, thanks to thousands of fans constantly rallying on social media to encourage Warner Brothers and HBO to unveil the Justice League movie. Now, many of those fans and some new ones are piling on the trend on Twitter with Henry Cavill Superman, thanks to Zack Snyder, who tweeted a picture of Cavill saying, "My Superman." Fans are, well, I did Wolverine, but that's that one. Fans have been posting pics of Cavill claiming "our Superman" with a new hashtag saying "our Superman" and continuing the Henry Cavill Superman as well too. Fans want to see more of Henry Cavill with roll off of Superman and want more Superman. Sammy, let's start with you. Do we see DC in the movie realm replacing Henry Cavill, or Henry Cavill is we need a new Superman movie?
I think DC is not moving forward with any sort of Superman with Henry Cavill, because I think they want to see how the Mayhem's favorite upcoming film, the Zack Snyder cut, coming out, and I think they're going to see how that does, and if it soars like they hope it does, then I wouldn't be surprised if you saw another Superman with Henry, but if it tanks, then they're just going to cut their losses and move on from there. I would love to see another one. I loved him as Superman. He was my favorite Superman, to be honest. I know it's so, yeah. I know. Everybody's saying Christopher Reeves, but I like him. He was much more comfortable to look at.
That's true. Mayhem, you and I have discussed Superman behind the scenes and everything. Go ahead, man. Go ham.
Look, let's talk about the idea of Superman. Superman is this corny Boy Scout that we love, who's super overpowered and all this great stuff. Christopher Reeves embodied it. And you know what? There have been numerous between Christopher Reeves. Nobody really captured that essence. Although I like the kid from Smallville, just the show didn't grow, honestly, if you ask me. Here comes Henry Cavill. Man of Steel was actually a great movie. I slept on it. I will take that. Man of Steel was a great movie. What they did for Batman versus Superman and Justice League is just But now it seems like supposedly he was cut out. Because remember, we didn't get him in Shazam. And it's just like, okay, if we get him back, I think he will totally embody Superman and kind of be the modern day Christopher Reeves that we need. And I have to say Christopher Reeves, because although I think he played a really good job as Superman, he hasn't beaten what fans, for me at least, or what I feel like fans have kind of grown to know from Christopher Reeves. You look at the Joker, to help you better understand what I'm saying. You look at the Joker, Jack Nicholson was great, but Heath Ledger blew it out the box, if you ask me. And I think a lot of people agree. A lot of people will be like, well, he learned from Jack Nicholson. Yeah, but you know what? He made it his own thing. The man was dedicated. If you look into what he did for those scenes, you forget that the movie's even about Batman. It's all about the Joker. So I want to see Henry Cavill in a better position to make Superman his and do a lot with it, so that not just Superman, but Clark Kent too. Because we need that as well. And I think Christopher Reeve had that, but I think Henry Cavill could definitely do it for sure.
Well, we did get a Lex Luthor, and there was supposed to be continuation from that lovely storyline as well too. And granted, yeah, Batman vs Superman wasn't really great either.
Okay,
Leslie, is this your Superman?
Oh, is it? Listen, just like Mayhem said, putting him in a better position. Yes, please put him in that position. I would tell you something.
That was a very loaded statement, Leslie.
I love him. I grew up with Christopher Reeves. I grew up even with George Reeves. I mean, that's what I'm going to say. That's how old I am. But I will say this. He is a good Superman, and he deserves to have a better storyline. He's underutilized. So I want to see him. I don't know if you all have been watching this man on Twitter or following him on Twitter, but he is working out. He's jacked. He's ready to go. And he could put together a computer.
Right. All right. Fair. And we all know, as Henry Cavill has stated time and time again, he still has the cape. He's got a Batman suit in his personal closet. Could he also just could he look? He can do one of these things where he shows up in Times Square wearing the suit. Bergy, do you see him one day just doing a new campaign and just going around to every major city, doing what some other people have done in the past before too, when it comes to greenlighting new projects?
I mean, I would love to see him do it. Like, come to Boston. I want to come up there and meet you, man. I need a new autograph, you know? Like, I'm a huge fan. Superman is one of my favorite all-time characters, and I agree with a lot of what everyone's saying on the panel. He is an over, powered, Boy Scout, does nothing wrong, everything like that. He does fit more of the new role of the way the comics are looking for the new DC 52. The look of him, the suit and everything, they kind of looks like they're modeling it after him a little bit, or maybe they modeled him after the comics. Christopher Reeves is hands down, I thought, one of the best ones because he had that look of the old school, the George Reeves, the old school comic book look. Henry has the better feel, I think, of this time around, but they got to get him a little bit better with the storylines. And you got to figure he's not human, so he's not going to have the same emotional empathy as like a human would. He's Kryptonian. He's from outer space. He's an alien. He's overpowered. Basically, he can beat anything. Like where you get the story and the struggle there. You bring kryptonite, then it's all of a sudden now we go into the background. I hope to see them do a better storyline with him, and I'd love to see him get more involved with like trying to get it onto the screen. Look at Ryan Reynolds. He pushed the heck out of it so he could get Deadpool on the screen. He made his own teaser, trailer in a way, and it blew up. Why can't Henry do this or work with somebody to do something like this? Maybe he's battling Brainiac or he battles Lobo, the main man. Like I would love to see that type of matchup in a movie. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. And I think we need to get Leslie some tissues over there, like just a little drool.
I got my fan over here. So
got the fans on.
Drool there.
So, all right. So let's just say right now, if they were creating a new storyline or new story, who would be Superman's upcoming villains? Because granted, we're still going to have Lex Luthor around. He's always in the background scheming something. Who would you like to see Superman face if it soon gets greenlit? Sammy, go ahead.
I'm just saying it because I think it'd be hilarious. It will never happen, but Mixus Pitalik would be hilarious.
That would be dope.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
All right, go ahead, Mayhem.
I want something totally left field. I want Parasite. The reason why I want Parasite is because just to kind of show Superman getting back into his powers. He already fought Doomsday, right? But in the background, we recast Lex Luthor. We've had some great Lex Luthors. Gene Hackman, original, 1970. Mm-hmm. Kevin Spacey, all right, well, but he did do a great job. And then what you can do is recast Lex Luthor, because I'm not counting B versus S, and you can have him create
what about the Infinite Crisis?
Huh?
What about the Infinite Crisis Lex Luthor, which was the nephew, aka Lex Luthor?
Nah, I'm going for nah. Just
complete recast.
I'll give it to him. He did a great job. No, you're right. But whoever it is, whoever they recast, create the Legion of Doom in the background. Because remember, we kind of got that. We what was his name? Deathstroke. Yeah, Deathstroke was and that was
Manganella.
Yes,
Manganella.
Bring him back. Bring that back. So yeah, we got a great villain, Parasite, and maybe you can give another villain if you want. Boom. But bring Legion of Doom back. Bring us a Lex Luthor that's creating that. I think Mongo will be great, but give us another two movies. Let Henry Cavill build that character.
All right.
Ooh.
Leslie, who would you like to see your Henry Cavill fight?
That's so hard. That's a hard. I'm gonna be cliche here. Black Adam.
Okay.
And it would be just too much man on the film.
Right. The two biggest, sexiest men.
Come in randomly.
Right. Two of the sexiest men of the year, and yes, throw in some Jason Momoa, and you would have the wettest blockbuster next to Magic Mike. We'll say. I mean, well,
you said it. I
did say it. Bergy, who would you like to see Superman fight against?
I absolutely love everybody's choices too. The Mitsuplex, oh my god, that's you don't think about it, but I'd like to see him in there. But I think he would be like a spot character type deal, not like the whole movie, but he'd be one that would pop in and out of reality and mess with Superman while he's battling somebody. I know Mongol is definitely great. I love the Parasite idea. I want to see Lobo. I want to see Lobo because there's been rumors of Lobo being bounced around. He's from outer space. Somebody puts Darkseid or Apocalypse. Right. Somebody puts something on him for a hit. and they send the main man. And there was rumors back in the day The Rock was supposed to play that, but now you got The Rock playing,
Black Adam.
Black Adam. I'd like to see who they could pick to do that. Personally, I thought, what's his name? Momoa would have been a good role for it. With that scruff look, the beard going, like he could have been a definitely good role. And he's a big enough guy that could go toe to toe with them. So it all depends on who they pick. I would like to see Lobo, and I'd love to see that character, that hammy bit in there and stuff like that. I think it would be great. I think it would be great TV.
Lobo was hardly teased during the Krypton series, and of course, we saw the infamous fail of Krypton go way down. Was it after 2 seasons, right? Pretty much. Someone said you can always put in Roman Reigns to play Lobo. So
I like that choice. Roman Reigns wouldn't be a bad choice. Like, he's a solid guy, big guy, and he has that look with the beard. I think that's a perfect role, like right there.
I honestly would like to see how they would throw in Bizarro into all this mix as well, too. How they would clone him, how this would fit into the Superman lore. And look, as Mayhem's probably going, how is this all going to work? Look,
you could do Bizarro.
You could do Bizarro and Parasite.
Yeah, easily.
They technically had his body, and they did Doomsday from what's his name, General Zod. What about having that? That wouldn't be a bad pick at all. Bizarro. That'd be a nice little one.
Bizarro would be
and
great.
you sort of continue where you kind of left off in that little crazy storyline. You don't have to rewrite as much, and it goes right into Doomsday, into that little aspect. I don't know, man. Mayhem, say the line, man.
Cut the check.
That seems like an interesting storyline just for all of us to do. Actually, yeah, let's talk about this one. Who would play Bizarro if you actually did have a choice?
I mean, I think you would have to.
Would it be Henry as
could do twin, yeah. I could, yeah.
I mean, that would be really more interesting to see a deformed Henry playing both sides.
Yeah, but you could pick some of the other Supermen from the CW series. You can always pick one of them just to fill in.
Bring the guy Shannon Michael back who played General Zod.
Oh yeah.
Make him a little bit like deformed and stuff like that. They were able to clone him to do that. They saved his clone.
DNA.
They added that man's DNA into it. He was he played Zod amazing.
Yeah,
I think he'd
the
do great.
only reason Doomsday was, jacked up and weird was because he mixed his DNA with him, and then the machine was malfunctioning. So if they figured out, they being
that movie was trash. Don't do that. That movie was trash.
We were talking about
but guess what?
So in the rules of that movie, that occurred.
If you continue from that movie, not Justice League, it would still get storyline of not having to rewrite.
All they have to do is fix the machine, refine the thing, but they would still have that, figuring out.
Yes.
So it'd be a more perfected mutant.
You think about it. They could now bring in Star Labs. They could bring Cadmus Labs. You have other labs that you could bring in. They got a clone. They got a sample of the DNA of Doomsday and or Superman and General Zod. You make one. You've got Bizarro.
Yeah.
You bring in Star Labs. Now you could bring in Superboy. You have all of that storylines. Cadmus. There's a lot of stuff they could lead into. Better storylines, better movies.
Well, they already put in Superboy in the Titans series, so it'll be interesting to see how that fits in for their movie roles. But here's something new that I didn't think was coming, but back to 80s nostalgia, we're getting a new Knight Rider movie. Few pop culture automobiles as excited as Knight Rider's Kit, the talking car who partnered with David Hasselhoff, Michael Knight to solve all sorts of crimes and mystery following the initial run of the series back in the 80s. The concept got a TV series, movie, and even a 2008 reboot, but hasn't really earned the big screen budget attention just yet until a new movie reboot was just announced last summer. Hasselhoff, however, recently admitted that he had been working on a few revivals for the concept of the reboot, and now he thinks the movie's in good hands, and he's excited for the Knight Rider reboot. Sammy, let's go with you. You down for a new Knight Rider as a movie, or you're just going, the 80s are done, we're just on the crazy train of 80s?
The whole relaunch of 80s nostalgia has been very hit or miss. I mean, like, they brought back 21 Jump Street, and that that was good because it had the same dynamic, but it sort of you didn't realize it was actually a continuation of the TV show until you saw the end of the movie. And then they continued on. But it's hit or miss. Like, if they're trying to capture the essence of the story, like what we loved as kids, and try and remake it, it doesn't work. But if they take the idea and then they update it for now, then those stories seem to be a bit more successful in general. I think it's going to be cool because our technology, for all the things that Kit could do, is going to, make that aspect of the show awesome. And, we could do with an American James Bond character again. I'm tired of James Bond.
What?
Oh,
What?
okay.
Oh, I'm tired of
Tim, you
it.
fighting.
Get her out of
We
here.
fighting.
Get her out of
All right.
here.
We're fighting.
Okay.
We're fighting. Tim.
Go ahead,
Sammy,
go ahead, Mayhem. Go ahead,
Sammy,
Mayhem.
I would definitely say no. James Bond, Daniel Craig's James Bond has been the best James Bond ever. Sean Connery, listen, okay, all those stories before Daniel Craig was all misogynistic.
That has nothing to do with
They don't
Knight
have-
Rider, though.
No.
Hold on, we're gonna go back to that. I'm addressing your James Bond concern, okay? Now I'm looking forward to this new James Bond because not only is Daniel Craig bowing out finally, because I don't know what's been going on with the story, even though he did his thing, but they're giving a black woman the James Bond 007 status, so I know she's gonna kill it. That's number one. Number two, yes, I am hating on Sean Connery because he ain't do nothing for it. Number two, when it comes to Knight Rider, come on, like,
Wow.
shout out to him, David Hasselhoff, for having a cell phone first. Like, all right, cool. You had a talking car. It's gonna become gimmicky. I think it's gonna be like the Baywatch reboot. It's either gonna be like too much comedy. It's like there's nowhere else you can go. You're a modern day man with a cell phone and a talking car. So what? Will Smith gave us I Am Robot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had AIs that were way more advanced and way more intelligent. It's not. I think this movie's gonna be a miss. It's gonna be fun for us to go to, and maybe it'll be decent. But it's nothing else is happening. It's gonna be a miss.
Wait, so you don't want the old school Roto-Rooter phone in the movie just for nostalgia purposes, and then finally kids have to figure out how to work it?
No, they will never know.
My iPhone is on the way out right now. They're not sponsoring us. My iPhone's on the way out. If they brought in a T-Mobile Sidekick, remember the Sidekick?
Yeah.
They put that in it, I'd watch it.
Before Sidekick, there was another company called SkyTel, and I'll get to that one in just a little bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Leslie, continue on with what you just heard from the previous two.
I honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a little concerned about it being a movie. But I'm all for Kit making a reappearance. I really loved that series when I was a kid. I think a lot of young men out there love that series. I mean, my husband still talks about that series today. But I just don't know if it would have to give it a little bit more seriousness if they decide to do it as a movie and something that's a little bit more appealing to, people in 2021. I think it could be done. I think that if they have the right writer, if they give it the right nostalgia, and they definitely have to bring Hasselhoff in there to give that kind of nostalgic feel to it, I think it could be a success. But I am a little concerned based on the fact that whoever decided that they wanted to do the movie is not talking to Hasselhoff. And so now that makes me kind of think, I don't know.
It seems like Hasselhoff is with the production, and production seems to have Hasselhoff in the background. And it seems like we'll get, just like with 21 Jump Street got and everything else, one of the quick cameos. Will we finally get the full passing of the torch? Who's going to voice Kit? Bergy, take us away.
God, man. Does anybody remember the A-Team movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I'm the same boat. Like, I was a
All
little
right.
worried when they cast what the heck was his name for B.A. Brock?
Rampage?
Rampage. I was a little concerned about that because I was like, this dude can't act. He didn't play that bad of a role. I liked Liam Neeson as, the character as but it just that didn't do well, and it basically bombed in the theater. I still love watching every once in a while just for fun. This is going to be the same route, because they're going to try to go for a big name to be the lead actor to play Michael Knight, if they stick with the Michael Knight line. I'm hoping they don't, and basically they do a whole new thing. We've seen the reboots numerous times. They've done 2 different reboots for TV series that were both on like Fox 64 back in the day when you had to have the rabbit ears. Yes, kids, we used to have antennas on our TV back then to pick up channels. So you had to pick it up that way. I think these are movies that are just not going to do very well on the big box office. They're going to be bombs. There was rumors Rock was actually attached to a movie called Spy Hunter, was based off a video game, which was based off of the Knight Rider TV series in a way. So there's a lot of stuff that they could do. I just think this is going to be, and I'm a huge Knight Rider fan. I've got pops, figures, the box sets, stuff like that. Like, I'm a huge fan, but I think this is going to be a miss, like the 18 movie will be. If anything, if you want to do the
movie,
yeah, exactly. You want to do an 80s nostalgia with this, go the route of making it like a TV series I could throw on Netflix or something. Netflix seems to be getting some of this stuff kind of right with some of those writers and those people. Do it that way. Do a 6 to 8 episode arc on Netflix. See how it goes from there and go that way, and maybe make a movie that's that way. You're not going to get a big budget that's going to go on the big screen or anything that's going to be decent. This, I'll go see it because it's Knight Rider, but it's no.
Well, is it me? But David Hasselhoff doesn't seem to do any well at the big screen, and if he does, they're quick cameos and they're written for a specific reason. But when it comes to him full-fledged acting from beginning to the end, it just isn't box office success unless he's doing something in German. God, Leslie.
Good actor.
Well,
Thank you.
I mean, the thing is that David Hasselhoff in the day was it. When Kit came out, when Knight Rider came out, it propelled him into visibility, and everybody loved David Hasselhoff. So I think that his appearances are not for a full-time role. I mean, he did do some really good horror films. If you've ever watched anything that he did some really kind of kitschy horror films that I thought were pretty decent. But at the end of the day, he is iconic just for that, and he'll make appearances, and we'll be happy with his appearances. But I have to agree with you, Bergy, on that one. I really do think that they should do it on Netflix and see how it goes. I mean, we have witnessed a lot of success from a resurgence of reboots of 80s type shows on Netflix. I think that they can do it, but as far as a film, I'm kind of concerned, and they definitely have to bring that nostalgic component in there, because that's when you're going to get new fan base and you're going to retain the old fan base.
Yeah,
that's always been a problem because TV shows are a long format, storytelling, and you come to love these characters because you have spent so much time with them, and they can spread out the storytelling and the character development. So I've never really seen many successful adaptations where they take a long format story, and then they just cram it into one film and expect you to fall in love with their version of those characters, because you're only seeing them for maybe like 90 minutes to 120 minutes, as opposed to 13 to 22, 23 weeks, an hour at a time. That's almost a full 24 hours worth of exposure to a character. So I agree. I think it should be, done more as a limited series than a movie.
Yeah, she sounds like she's talking about the A-Team and everything, because that was good, but it wasn't aesthetically great. Right. Go ahead, mate. Let's go Mayhem. Let's go Mayhem. Then we'll go Bergy. Then we'll go to the next topic. Go ahead, mate.
It's not gonna work. We already fell in love with AI. Its name is Jarvis or Pepper. Come on. We had multiple.
Or
movies
Friday.
to do that.
Forget Friday.
You see, come on. It's not gonna happen. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Bergy.
I was gonna say it's also like we think about like Dukes of Hazzard. I can still remember as a kid with Dukes of Hazzard, when there was a car that was in my neighborhood, I used to go bonkers for that kid when I was a kid for that car. They made that into a movie. That was a bad movie with Johnny Knoxville. That was horrible.
I liked it. I liked that version.
You have no say.
You know who wrote it, right? You know who wrote and directed it, right?
No, who?
Somebody who wanted
Your boys, the Super Troopers, were the writers and directors for it.
God, no wonder I was bad.
Broken Lizard was behind it. Broken Lizard was behind it.
That movie was bad. That would have been something that would have been cool for like a 80s nostalgia on the like Netflix or something. I think that's the way to go for some of those. If you're doing 80s nostalgia, why not bring back Airwolf? Anybody remember Airwolf?
Oh,
right? I like, all right,
Yes.
let's bring something like that back if we're going to 80s nostalgia. But and Mayhem's like, no. But those would be cool to do, but they're not going to. They're trying to make a big attached name. Hasselhoff, bad actor back then, still a bad actor now. My opinion, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, he's like Shatner. He's a bad actor, but he's popular and people love him and they want to put him in it because they know people will go to the theater to see it. It's the same premise.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody watches them because they're good actors. They just watch them because they're characters.
Right.
That's for sure.
Guess
But they're
what?
bad actors.
Just like the A-Team, just like Airwolf, just like Dukes of Hazzard, it's all about the car. We've all noticed in the childhood of the 80s, especially people today don't understand. The 80s was always about the cars.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also go with Magnum PI as well too, throw them in that mix as well too. And right now, Hoff is giving away or actually auctioning off his kit car. Knight Rider kit going to be auctioned, and you can get a piece of the proudly owned David Hasselhoff's personal car kit. The current bid was going for $450,000 at the time. It may have gone up and everything. Kit is the 1986 TV series that featured the actor solving crimes. The auction ends on January 23rd with an added bonus. Hoff will personally come and drive the car to you. Now, is it, or was this,
Okay.
didn't we talk about this last year almost? I feel like we've talked about this and it didn't happen. And I think we're doing this again. You really think Hoff's gonna get rid of the kit? Like, but this isn't original kit. People forget that the version he has is a modified version that was made in the 90s and has a body kit on it. This isn't the original kit. The original kit is long destroyed or belongs in Paramount Studios' hands. Do you like? All right, Sam, let's start with you. Would you want Hasselhoff driving in, Lone Ranger style, putting you in the car,
Not really. No. That is not a car. There are a lot better cars to spend $500,000 on than that, especially since it's a kit car. Because most of the time, kit cars, like, you're lucky if you actually get fiberglass. Usually, kit cars are like garage cars. They're built out of wood and crap. But, the interesting thing was, I think we did talk about this where he tried to auction it off and it didn't hit the reserve. So he didn't it didn't sell. So I wonder what he's got the reserve at, that it's got to go up to like $500,000, because that's ridiculous. But no, I would not spend $500,000 on kit of all cars. There's way better. I would spend that on like an airplane.
Tesla.
Well,
I wouldn't even, no, but not a Tesla.
Right, but this sounds
a car accident and get on fire from batteries.
Well, this sounds worse than what American Express and Visa puts up when you get like the high super stature and you get to win a dinner with someone. Mayhem, is this on your to have list?
No,
You're
no,
driving.
No,
would you own this?
No,
would you?
No. You guys me again. I'm sorry. Again.
Okay.
No, exactly. Look, there's a concept called the Ford GT90, which revolutionized the cars that we have right now, way back in the 90s. I got it from Need for Speed 2. I would pay money for that. A concept car. There's only like 9 made, and I think one of the museums in Europe has it. Why would I spend this money for kit? It's not even the original kit. It's a body kit of kit on another car. I could pay $450,000 on a house, on a Tesla models for years to come, on stocks. Like, nobody wants this. Hasselhoff is not the greatest of actors. You know what it was about Hasselhoff? He had that sexual essence. He had that, like, the Hoff, like women flocked to him. Kind of like Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan, to an extent, made slightly better movies than Hoff. Still not a great bar to be by. So, no, I'm good. I stand by what I said. Name me a great Pierce Brosnan movie. I'll wait.
Leslie, would you auction into? There was one. I think, what was it? He played a fisherman, right? He played a pirate fisherman.
You don't even know the name.
I don't even know the name. Yeah, right. Leslie,
The only reason why people are saying on this panel that they would not spend $450,000 on that car is because you ain't got $450,000.
Wow,
I'm gonna tell
Leslie.
you, let me tell you something. Let me
Leslie.
tell you, no, but it's the truth.
True.
Because when you are a billionaire, you $450,000 you could spend in a day. So I'm just saying, somebody out there is gonna want that car with his autograph on it. They're asking to do that, and they're gonna keep that car there because the original is destroyed. That's the last living version of it, held by the guy that actually played the role. Somebody out there is gonna buy that car. I'm just saying, if you all know anything about how people spend money and how people see value of something down the line when it comes to like antiques or nostalgia and stuff like that, somebody's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Les, I
It
just
only
want to
takes.
say, I don't even want to be hit by that car and win a settlement for $450,000.
It doesn't matter.
Look,
It doesn't matter
look.
because there's somebody out
I
there that does
understand
not
that.
know that
I understand
that's not the original car.
It's
And
like the
somebody's gonna
DeLorean.
put it, yeah, somebody's gonna put it in their
DeLorean.
garage. They're gonna show it to people and just be like a novelty piece. They're gonna have everybody come around their pool and talk about the daggum car in the garage. But that's what people with a lot of money do.
All right.
Listen,
Well, Bergy's got to finish. All right, then we can go back to you. But we all know that if this ends up in someone's hands, it ends up at a convention because we see all these cars in their Comic-Con runs.
That's literally that's all I can think of right now, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I can't wait to get the email. Hey man, I got the kit car from David Hasselhoff. I spent $500,000 on it, and I'm gonna laugh my butt off, and I'm gonna be like, you're an idiot that overpaid. Literally, like I see these cars a dime a dozen at conventions left and right. Hash, you see them too. Sammy, you do as well. How many cars I get that tell me, well, this was the cop car that was used in the background of Gotham, or this was a car that was in the Batman movie. No, it's not. It's a model car that you built or you bought yourself. You can buy one of these cars for like what, 20 grand at best, for an old body car, and make it yourself for less than 60 grand. You'll spend 450,000. And Les, I get you. I understand people with money do stupid things. I can honestly say if I was a billionaire, this is not something I'd be buying. I would not buy something like this. I'd buy a G5 or something beforehand because that's a better investment than this movie is. But I get it. There are people that do stupid things. They buy the stupidest things. They buy costumes for movies, things like that, because they want to as a conversation piece in their mansion or their garage with 40 other cars or something like that. God bless whoever's the idiot that spends this money on it. And in today's day and age with a pandemic going on, where we're worried about a $600 check, if you got 450 grand to spend, my God bless you. You're crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say this: you understand that you're not paying $450,000 for the car; you're paying for the experience. Yes. So not only are you paying the car, this man's going to drive this car to you. You're going to have like a major photo op going on, and you're going to have those pictures all over the place showing that you bought this car directly from him. But this is what I'm saying. This is what you're paying for. You're not paying $450,000 for the car.
I'm going to add to Leslie. You're also getting a piece of Hasselhoff's DNA. His DNA is all over that car, bro. Yeah,
God, that's disturbing. I look at it this way. I feel like I want to do like that MasterCard commercial. $100 ticket to a convention, $100 autograph from David Hasselhoff, $100 picture in front of Kit. Priceless. I spent $300. I had the same experience. That to me is way better than owning that damn car. I'm just saying.
No, you took a photo. You took a photo op at a con, but this man is actually coming there and bringing it to you, giving it to you. That's different.
So
you're the new owner. It's like, okay, it's like, all right, you know how like we have the toy collections and we auction all of our stuff up for the whole purpose of someone being the new owner of it, the proud new owner who's going to take care of it for the rest of his life. This is David Hasselhoff's personal car that was given to him. I think this was given to him, I think, by the reboot version where they finally gave him his version. So it literally comes down to, the true collector. It always comes down to that one true collector who wants it. And there are many people. Look, this may not end up in the U.S. This may end up overseas. Anyone thought of that?
Someone in Germany is going to buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
someone
it's meaningful to somebody. It's meaningful to somebody.
So the interesting thing is that you are likely giving him $450,000, because nowhere does it say that the money is going to anyone at all.
But himself.
It just says that he's auctioning it off. It doesn't say it's going to charity. It does. So you're literally handing this old actor and singer $500,000 to put mileage on a collector's car so he could drive it to you. And then here's a handshake. Here's a signature. Blah, blah, blah. You're paying $500,000 for that.
Do you understand the social media ramification of this? He drives it. There's a whole video. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, a TikTok, whatever social media. You don't understand the fact that he'll probably drive it wherever it's in LA, Arizona, wherever it may be. It is driving to you. Yes, you shoot the gun, but everyone in your neighborhood will now know the kid car. You have kid in your driveway.
Here's the problem with that, Hash. On all these social media sites, none of the kids know who the hell this is. I don't know who that is.
No,
you know who's going to be on that?
That's not important. But there's somebody. But we do, and this generation does. So if you put it on Facebook, which our generation patronizes a lot, you're still going to get all the props. Y'all,
what props?
You are.
All right.
I saw Bergy doing this for $455,000. I'm clowning Bergy. I'm calling blood and I'm clowning.
That's why you're saying that, because you don't have $450,000.
No, it's not about that. Because you know what? Here's the thing. Because I can make it my life's mission to reach out to Hasselhoff and have somewhat a similar experience and offer him more money. Hasselhoff ain't it. Daniel Craig, maybe. For me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay. No. Wait.
Why are we getting into this?
Hold on. We're gonna go through one more round, and then we're gonna go to the next topic about Cobra Kai. But one more time, real quick, with all the nostalgia cars and everything, and you guys, especially with him, with James Bond now, what would be your nostalgia car that you would want? I'm gonna start with you, then Mayhem, and going on.
That's a tough one.
Oh, I already know which one I would want.
Ooh, I don't know. Actually, I do know. It would be the original Mad Max Interceptor.
Okay. Mayhem.
I want the truck from Transformers, man. I'm sorry. I want to ride around in Optimus Prime. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not a truck driver, but I want that experience, and I want an Autobot experience. Give me the truck. Wait. Can I change the rules? Does it have to be a vehicle? Because I wouldn't mind riding around in the Death Star set. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. You want to be on set on the Death Star? Okay, Leslie.
Starsky and Hutch's Sebring.
Okay. Bergy.
For me, it would literally be A-Team. Like, I want the A-Team van.
A-Team van.
Like, I love that. That was my childhood. You know.
Bergy, throw in Ghostbusters 2, and if you are a big fan of the 80s nostalgia car, let us know. Comment below. What was your favorite car? If you couldn't get the kit car, what's one car you want to have in your driveway that you enjoyed as a kid? On to the next topic, and that would be all about Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai addresses the absence of Aisha. The highly anticipated third season of Cobra Kai finally arrived on Netflix not too long ago, drawing huge viewership and critical acclaim once again. But it criticized one missing character, and it happened to be Aisha. However, fans quickly noticed that one character is gone and grown away, but fans of Cobra Kai fell in love with her from the first 2 seasons, and when she joined Johnny Lawrence's dojo to keep from getting bullied, Aisha became one of the fan favorites of not only losing a friend, but also slowly gaining her friendship back from the Sam LaRusso character. Granted, we're currently all on Cobra Kai right now. Would you like to see her returning back? Because they said like she's not over yet, but it seems like it's a missing character in season 3. Do you see her coming back if it's not in season 4, but hopefully down the line season 5? Leslie, let's start with you this time.
Oh, I definitely think that she's going to be coming back. A lot of times when you see actors disappear from a series, especially when it is, it takes a lot of effort and time to do the series. I mean, she might be working on something else and needed the break. So I wouldn't count it out. She is a much beloved character. And, I I don't see this being a big issue. I know the fans missed her, whatever, but there might be something going on with her, new work or something like that, where she just couldn't commit to the schedule.
Okay. Mayhem, you've seen the series as well too. Is she missed like having a diverse character? I know like we have with her being a stronger set woman, was she strongly missed, or was this like you see it happening down the line, especially when they threw in a storyline that her family moved her to another school? They never said that she moved out of town, they just moved her to another school.
I think it's relatable. Like you have a friend, somebody that moves, and you lose out of touch. How much you miss that person. We've grown attached to Aisha's character and all this. Like, come on, like she's gonna come back. And just to kind of like reiterate what Leslie said, she's probably working on something else. So the fact that they're making a buzz about this show just for this one character, they're gonna bring her back. I think she's a very important character, and I think she might even get a little bit more of a rework now, because now that fans really are showing their support for her, and they're asking for her now that she's not there, they're like, okay, let's make her even more important. Let's push her to the front for a little bit. So I definitely think she's gonna come back, and I think once again, because it's relatable and because the fans are out here claiming for her, she's gonna come back, and she's gonna be even more important, and it's gonna drive more of a point for whatever these creators are going for.
Right.
For sure.
Bergy, could you see her like could you see her like going to like another karate school and learning new skills? And let's just say because of the championships happening pretty soon, does she join another karate team? And the storyline kind of changes where now she wins. She beats everyone. She beats Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. Could that be an easy or better setup?
Or Eagle Fang Strike. Just saying. 3 dojos now. 3. I think
two are combined. We forget. 2 are combined.
Oh yeah, they
now.
did combine. That's right. They did combine. So we'll see what the name of that one's going to be. I'm waiting for that shirt to come out next season. I think they like. I mean, right now, like I could see that where like what happened where a karate fight broke out, like a gang fight broke out at a high school, and the parents that she had, from what they said in the first and second season, like her dad's like I think a football player, or he's somebody high up in that type of industry, and he probably had his kid attached to something that was negative. So they basically was like, oh, she got transferred to a private school. I can see something like that happen with that type of parent, that they're probably like, yo, we got a profile to maintain. You can't be involved in something like this. But I think they're going to bring her back because of the fan backlash for it. Like, she was a really cool character. I enjoyed her character, like watching her arc on the season and everything, and how she basically came to, kick ass in a way because of all the people that were bullying her. I thought it was a great character. I definitely see her coming back. I don't know about her coming back on a different karate studio, but I put money she's going to come back and she's going to whoop some butt somewhere. And like you said, maybe it was like she had something coming up with, filming, maybe another series. Maybe she's school. She couldn't do something because of maybe she was taking a class in college. We don't know. Like, there's different things that could have
class in college. Yeah, that's true. But then, what the?
I don't know. He lost his head over there.
What I said?
You lost.
I get it. I get it.
You're losing it, man.
She's the new David Hasselhoff. That's what he's saying.
I'm sorry. I'm just quiet.
No, but like, it's interesting to see, especially in season 3, seeing the giant fight scene. Could you imagine seeing, I guess like a 3-girl fight, especially during karate moves? How would that have turned out in a way? Especially when we see the boys now team up just to take out most of the Cobra Kai members. We saw that happening, and it seems like she's strongly missed by having that, I guess, different role, different look that is different from the rest of the cast members. Compared to having the kid with the scar on his lip, she was different in every aspect that made other people gravitate towards her. Yes, Leslie.
The thing is that Aisha checked every box. She was Black, she was female, and she was overweight. So This is why people are related. They relate to her. So it is, you're seeing something else. Where is that character that we want to see that is an overcomer? People want to see that character. But I honestly think that she's working on something else, and that's why we're not seeing her this year.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's one character we're probably going to end up seeing sooner or later. And is it the possible return of Terry Silver? Third season Cobra Kai have been done and well by Cobra Kai fans all around the world, continuing the storyline of Daniel and Johnny in exciting fashion. But guess what? At the end of season 3, what is it? Reese makes a phone call. But if you ever watch Karate Kid Part 3, he kind of just shows up teaching Daniel LaRusso and Cobra Kai, never really having a distinct storyline. And now fans are trying to understand, have Reese and Silver always been connected back to Reese's Vietnam flashbacks? Only time will tell to see if season 4 will be happening and Terry Silver makes his reappearance with that infamous ponytail as well too. Leslie, let's start with you. Could you see Silver? Did Kreese call Silver?
Listen, that was the most annoying character in Karate Kid 3. He was annoying. But I could also see them taking that arc and that storyline of him being one of his Vietnam vets, because this guy was really unhinged. If you think about it, there was a part of him. I mean, I remember that phone conversation that he had while he was in the sauna or something like that. I was talking to him on the phone. I was just like, ugh, he's creepy. But I can see it. I can see them bringing that component back. He was probably one of the most hated characters in the Karate Kid franchise. I definitely could see this. I could see this storyline developing. I could see us gritting our teeth at the screen because of this character and knowing how skeevy he is. So most definitely they have had a tendency with this show to bring back those things that we know and love about that series. So absolutely. I think that's who the phone call is.
That's who the phone call is.
Mm-hmm.
Mayhem, what do you think? Was the guy that they saved in his Vietnam flashbacks Silver?
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised, man. This series keeps coming back with little things, and it keeps grabbing us. It's like it pays homage to way back when, and it builds up more, and then here it is. This person's coming back, and it's just like I did not expect Cobra Kai to be 3 seasons long. I thought it was going to be 2. Okay, maybe 1, but I was like 2, and here it is. We have to wait for season 4 to find out all these answers. There's going to be another villain there. I don't know. I'm tired of this. I'm honestly tired of this. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
We're talking about so you're not tired of this. You're not tired of this. Guess what? Season 4 is going to come out this year too. Season 4 is going to come out this year.
Movie called, what was it? The Three Ninjas? The Three Little Ninjas, whatever?
The Three Ninjas, yes.
Three Ninjas.
Which was based off Double Dragon.
Right. With the third ninja. Tum Tum was my favorite, even though I think he was the fat one, if I'm not mistaken, right? Well, whatever. My whole thing is, this brings me back to a place where everything karate was so much better. Power Rangers, karate, like Teenage
Ninja Turtles,
karate, exactly. At this point, yes, it probably is. They're gonna find a way to work it because at this point, everybody's invested. This is gonna have another 2 seasons. Next year, we're gonna be talking about who the next villain is. He might have a daughter. He might have a dojo.
It's possibly going into 6 seasons. If rumors are true, it's gonna go beyond 5. Mm-hmm. If rumors are true, because they are saying season 4 is already written. They're just finishing up editing, and we will probably get a date for season 4. Probably by the end of January, if not by the end of February, we'll get a confirmed date for season 4, and then comes the wait for season 5. Bergy, with season 3 and everything that gone from Daniel going finally going to Japan. He didn't go to Hawaii, going to Japan, seeing the girl that he fell in love with, seeing Chosen, and the Cobra Kai crazy storyline, the fight scene. Is Silver the call?
I mean, they never touched upon if Silver and Reese were like connected in the original, the third one. So I would see him, and the way they touched upon that in this one in flashbacks, he's probably the one that they're going to call back You got to bring someone who's crazy and unhinged and psychotic, like, Kreese is. So to have that, because now you've got Johnny and Daniel finally on the same page and realizing, crap, we're actually trying to do the right thing, but we're doing it wrong. So they're going to be on the same page and they have their studios right now. I think this is going to be a good pickup. I'd like to see the character, how he's aged and stuff. And please don't come back with that ponytail or a mullet. Like, please change the haircut. Like, I'm just saying. I'd like to see it. I think it's really cool. I'd like to see what they're going to do with the characters, who's going to be the villain, how they're going to go. And then we heard Kreese at the end. When he said that, he goes, whoever wins, their studio stays. If we're going to do it right, Cobra Kai's got to drop. Like, they're not going to let that because he's the villain with this character and with the studios. So I'd be interested to see. And just to let Mayhem know, the guy that plays Tum Tum, he's actually a former Power Ranger too. Yep. He actually is a Red Power Ranger.
He's the Red Power Ranger.
He's a Red Power Ranger, and he's actually doing an MMA fight. He's a 5-time MMA champion who is about to fight Blake Foster, who is the Blue Power Ranger, and they're going to do an MMA fight sometime in this month, either January or February.
Sometime down the line, yeah.
Holy forget.
Tom was the kid version. Tom was the kid version of the Red Power Ranger.
Yep.
And if you go on his Instagram or his TikTok and everything else, he does
He's
a
huge.
lot of martial arts stuff as well too.
He's good too. He's a real good martial artist too.
Yeah, I believe a 2 or 3-time champion in martial arts, something like that. And Blake Foster, him being also, it'll be Kid Ranger versus Kid Ranger, so it'll be interesting to see blue versus red, things like that. So it'll be, I see, this will be a good little thing. What if that demo is part of Cobra Kai and we don't even know about it?
Interesting.
Could we see that? I mean, we've seen William at all these conventions. Everyone's had a dinner or a drink with him as well too at all these shows. So have some of the other Rangers as well too. I'm not saying who or what happened at these shows, but it kind of makes sense with 80s nostalgia and then the late 80s to early 90s nostalgia of the Power Rangers coming to the US. Could there be a crazy crossover? I don't know, but if anyone's seen the Instagram, I have been posting, these kids, some of them would fit a Power Ranger if they decided to do a movie or a series. They kind of fit the mold, not only character-wise, but even their own skills. God, Leslie.
No, I was just going to say something about Cobra Kai as a whole, and from the perspective of it being an actor and a writer. Mayhem, it's funny your reaction to saying this, how, just get it over with, because it is killing you. The writing is very good. And it it pulls at your heartstrings and you want to come back for more. Kudos to them for keeping to the script,
right?
Bringing back everything that we knew and loved about the series, and some really good dialogue. Sometimes people write dialogue and it's very inauthentic. I really love the dialogue in this show, and the storylines are pretty much real. I mean, yes, there is some stretching of the situations, but the dialogue, the characters are just very well rounded and very well written. So yes, I do see this going maybe even to a 7th year.
Right. So it's very fitting, as Leslie said. These are grabbing our emotions. They're grabbing every core of the 80s and what's going on right now. Even when the ex-girlfriend comes in and she says, you two are exactly the same. Guess what? You're gonna listen to your ex? Some people do. Some people. I don't know.
I thought the arc there between her and Daniel's wife was great. The way she did that, the way they interacted. I like her character. Like she's a great actress too, and the way she played off, like, oh, we need to talk. Like she wanted to know this, and she basically got them two to break out of the mold of being like enemies in a way. Instead of being frenemies, now they're actually becoming friends a little bit more, and they're realizing we're both on the same goal here. So I thought they did a great job with it.
Yeah, well, it's very well written.
Well, as we patiently wait for season 4 to happen this year, we will actually be getting a little more Marvel just happening this week. Marvel on Friday, actually, Marvel Studios launched their new Disney Plus series called Marvel Studios Legends, the new series premiered on Friday on January 8th. The first episode of the series focused on Vision and Scarlet Witch on a timely manner. It's almost like a fan-made YouTube clip, except Marvel now has the rights to it. To me, it seemed like, get to know your characters one more time before we get them on the screen again. You can catch the WandaVision. You can catch Vision and Scarlet Witch, and following next week, we're finally gonna get WandaVision. Mayhem, let's start with you. Is Marvel's new direction of reintroducing characters, and if you don't like it, what characters would you like to see be reintroduced before the movies?
No, Marvel, keep doing what you're doing. Marvel has been doing this for years, okay? For years. Like beforehand, all new, all different Marvel, they were introducing characters, and they were even letting you know about characters, give you short bios and where you can find the comics and all this other stuff. This is a great pivotal direction. I am excited for WandaVision. Next week, when we talk about it, look for my face. Look for my face and look for my shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be excited for it. This is great because also too, I think what we kind of forget too about the Avengers movie is that it's kind of like Twilight, where you're like Team Jacob or Team Edward, the vampires or the werewolves, whatever. You kind of forget about everybody else. I feel like there may have been a disconnect for Wanda and for Vision to an extent, especially since Vision got killed. Okay, fine, whatever, he comes back. That'll be great. So now we can kind of see like who they are and focus on them. We don't have to focus on them and let's say Stark or who's dead, but or Captain America, or who's dead as well, and like Bucky. You can focus on them and get reintroduced as how powerful they are and how they're going to build them out. This is probably one of the smartest things. People are home; they're going to watch because hey, what else are we going to do, right? And I think this is only going to further so many series, and I hope they bring out Monica Rambeau because I cannot wait to see what they do with her. If you don't know who Monica Rambeau is, please.
You're jumping right ahead when I'm getting to. We haven't got the WandaVision. That's going to be coming up next. But Sammy, what do you think of Marvel? Right, I guess now doing a character bio on their Disney Plus app.
Disney is super good at repackaging old stuff you've already seen in a different way to make it seem new and exciting. And I would not be surprised if this Legends was never really something initially in the cards until COVID hit, because basically they're not showing you anything new. They're just giving you clips and character bios and overviews, which is good in the fact that people that might not have seen all of the films or skipped out on some of them, and now they are watching it on Disney, they can get a brief overview of 10 years of films. It's also a really smart thing for Disney Marvel to do, to get another Marvel thing out there on Disney Plus, without having to really have much actor issue. Everything is basically just voiceover and re-edited stuff we've seen before. So I think it's smart in multiple ways, and Disney has done this since I can remember, and that's like early 90s. So the formula works, so why stop now?
Right. So Leslie, your thoughts on the biopic videos that that Marvel has just released for the release for Wanda and Vision?
I have to agree with Sammy on this. Disney is smart. Mm-hmm. They're very smart and they're prepared. Unlike DC, these guys were prepared. They are prepared for whatever is coming out their way. And they've got a lot of people there that are smart, that are in that think tank. That are saying, what are our fans craving right now? We don't have anything prepped up per se, but let's give them this. They'll love this. And let's put it in a flashy package because they're going to eat it up because they have a captive audience right now. Kudos to them because they are so on it right now. They are killing it. They are slaying it when it comes to this. They already know that they have a fan base that is craving this kind of content. And let's face it, we're in a world right now where it is very crazy, and superheroes is something that we need to make us feel good, positive, have a happy outlook, whatever. They know exactly what they're doing. So I applaud them.
All right. Mayhem, out of the trailers that you've seen, Bergy, out of the trailers that you've seen, what caught your attention first? And is this like something like rehashed or some like? Did you notice anything new out of the trailers, or you're just excited just the fact that like they decided to just do a quick biopic movie just to like get to reno your asylums again?
I think that's what basically the premise of this is also, but you think about it this way, Disney Plus is smart with what they're doing here, because now they're getting the person that might be a casual fan who might not know a lot more of the Wanda and Vision backstory. So they're going to get that, and they're going to do this throughout their Legend series. They're going to, focus on certain things. I think this is a smart decision because they're going to showcase how Wanda became who she is, how Vision became. They're going to introduce them. Maybe some of these people might not have seen some of the movies, or they didn't know the movie history and they didn't read a comic before. Because you got to figure, you put some great actors in there, but if somebody's doesn't know the storyline, they're probably not going to stick around. So doing it this way, it is like what Les and Sammy said. They're repackaging something that we've seen. We all know it, but their repackaging might tell a slightly different story or a different direction, and we're going to eat it up. It's smart because we're all sitting at home. What else do we have to do? Like, we're past, the holidays. No one's got money. We're all stuck at home. We got nothing else to do but watch TV. So this is brilliant for them. They're going to make a boatload on this. It's going to catch up on everything. I'm looking forward to it.
I just want to say,
go ahead.
One thing. So remember, not too long ago, I couldn't remember what it is. Marvel and Disney, respectively, launched their own apps, so that way you can go into their apps, buy their comics, find out about whoever you want to find out, whatever. This is technically what they're doing, but Disney and Marvel are really smart for this because, like Bergy said, the casual fan may not necessarily know, right? Mm-hmm. So when WandaVision comes out, where do people go necessarily? They go to Google, right? They don't necessarily go to like Marvelpedia or whatever, or DCpedia. They go to Google first, and then sometimes more people go to YouTube. And you guys forget, there are content creators who are out here explaining the Marvel universe, the cinematic universe, and they're doing it for you. Personalities like Mayhem Mike is out there, whatever. But Disney is doing this for you instead. Disney's doing what these content creators on YouTube are doing, and better to an extent, whatever. And that's how they get you in. So now they're also grabbing people up on YouTube for casual fans. This, I don't like the reach that they're doing is crazy. Mm-hmm. Because I know I stay on YouTube. I can pull down a YouTube hole for hours. Now you're taking me away from that, and you're giving me an official, not theory, an official timeline of what's going on that now these people who already done have to reconfigure and do.
Like, you're giving me new feelings. That's basically what it is. You're giving me brand new feelings of the same character over again. They're resetting
everything. They're making everybody else shift.
Right.
But they're making everybody shift. You're forgetting. Because like if I said, oh, Wanda's this, da-da-da, and this 15-minute clip says otherwise, they're canon. So now you have to redo your videos. They're pushing more content out. I don't think you guys see, like, this is beautiful. That's all I wanted to say. All right, crazy.
Well, with pretty much a Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up very soon, right after that, yes, we all know. What video would you like to see coming up next? Because we know Falcon and Winter Soldier coming. Will we see the new version of Captain America? Will we see the other characters somewhere down the line? Sammy, what do you think? If there's like an ongoing, growing thing where we'll see a Falcon video, we'll see the Winter Soldier, and we'll see the other characters for the Disney Plus series.
I think we will, and I think we're going to see them in the order in which they're going to debut. Disney's not stupid. They're not going to give us a Black Widow video, and then we don't see Black Widow until May.
Right.
So they're gonna release these, a couple of weeks before the show. So people that want to see it are going to look at it and go, oh yeah, okay. And it's going to rekindle those emotions. It's our warm up guy.
Right.
If it's our warm-up band. We're, the Legends is the first band on stage. The Star is, is the actual series. So I can easily see them maybe not making it a like every week thing, but making it like, okay, next month it's going to be, Falcon and Winter Soldier. The next month it's going to be Black Widow. And do it in the order in which they have all of their, premieres happening.
Right. Or they could pick a character that you got introduced to and we'll probably see later down the line, like a villain or something during the series. Yeah, go ahead, man. You're up next.
I don't think they're going to tell us everything. I think they're going to hit us with the okie doke. It doesn't make sense because then you take the whole. Well, why am I watching it then? I want to know who's Captain America. I want to know who U.S. Agent. I know it's going to be Falcon, but you mean to tell me that there's a possibility of somebody else being it before him? Who is it? Why would you? Why would you tell me that beforehand?
No, I don't think they'll do. I don't think they'll do it beforehand. I think afterwards they'll throw in a couple videos here. But Sammy's also right as well too. When it comes to your main characters, look, everyone's in love with Winter Soldier and Falcon. So we're gonna be jumping on that bandwagon immediately because people forget of all the other cameos Falcon has done in the other movies, which goes from Ant-Man to even Spider-Man.
Yes.
Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that they're going to release too much. I think they're going to hold it. They're going to keep those cards close to their chest, and so we're going to see, just like Sammy said, they're going to release it based on what they're going to release over on the bigger scale. But think about it. If you're not familiar with any of the Marvel characters and you go and you watch a movie, the first thing you do is, if you don't know anything about the character, you go back and you retrack and you try to find out everything that you can about why that character is who they are. I've done it several times. And there might be, even though I'm a huge fan of Marvel, there are some characters I don't know their backstory, you know? So they're basically containing or controlling what they're giving us. It's like they're spoon feeding us like we're little 2-year-olds, and we have our mouth open going, because that's what they're doing. They are in control of this situation. They're doing it very well. Like I said, they are so smart. Yeah. And obviously, one of the things that Disney and Marvel has is that they have people that are fans creating this content for fans. That's an important component that you must have. And not to say anything about DC, but I have to bring it up. When you don't have fans creating this kind of stuff for fans who know this is what they want, or even in Star Wars, you got fans creating the content, you're losing out on a whole thing right here. You are not playing this game very well. And that's all I got to say. But they're doing a good job.
Bergy, your thoughts on the actually, who would you like to see character-wise, like Marvel do?
I think what they're going to do is they're going to give you the background story a little bit with, I think, Falcon and Soldier. The U.S. Agent might be something where they're going to hold off on. I don't think they're going to showcase it right away. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't showcase Baron Zemo, because a lot of people don't realize in the trailer we see the purple hood come down, and everyone's like, "Who the hell is that?" If you're not a fan, like the casual fan, they just know that guy. Wasn't that the guy that basically, messed with Winter Soldier's mind in the last movie where Black Panther showed up and everything like that? No one knows who the hell he is. But now introducing him and showing Baron Zemo, they're going to show Sokovia. They're going to give you a little bit of backstory of his character, I think, with how he interplays with Winter Soldier, Captain America, Falcon, and stuff like that. I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see them do a little bit of the background stories of some of the characters we don't know. I mean, the casual fan doesn't know. We know because we are fans. And I agree with what Mayhem and Leslie were saying earlier, and also Sammy, where think about it now. You look up somebody. Where do you go? Google. You're looking up comic book news. You're looking at the Chive. You're looking at all these sites that do all of this stuff. And, hey, check out some of our videos, too, if you want to learn some stuff. We do stuff, too. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where they're getting their knowledge from, is from fans like us. But now you're going to get it from the horse's mouth.
Direct.
Yeah, the source. So think about that. Disney is going to bring some of these writers that made these characters. Here's our design. Here's what we wanted with these characters. Now you're going to get that right from them. That's the source. That's the Bible truth, not somebody's fan theory or something. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to love to see what they're going to do with that. Loki, how they're going to explain Loki, the What If series, all those different storylines, how they're going to intertwine with each other. They're going to do it for Black Widow, movies. They're going to introduce a lot of other shows too, I think, to this. I think it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to produce. And I'm going to watch it just like you all are.
Could you guys all see them because of the current X-Men and Fantastic Four cast make one for their current videos before releasing like a new version of their movies?
I think once they cast everything, yes. I think when people are cast, I think they'll do it then. Not till people are cast yet. I don't think they'll do it ahead of time because you jump in the gun.
Right.
Yeah, the same how other people are just jumping the gun and trying to get like a no more storyline, which we don't even know anything, which Marvel will probably put in later once they do the next Black Panther 2 storyline as well too. But speaking of shows that we're all going to be glued to, and Mayhem will definitely be shining for this one, and that'll be WandaVision premiering 2-episode premiere. Yes, Marvel's WandaVision will have a 2-episode premiere next weekend on July 15th.
July.
Episode 3. And on January 15th, and the
That's
third
all right.
episode 3 will be on Friday the 22nd. And you think they're going to change the game just by giving us 2 episodes in the start of the cinematic universe? Just give us all gun-ho, grabbing our attention. Sammy, go ahead.
I think they're doing 2 episodes because it is not an action-packed TV show. It's more of a slow burn, and usually in those types of writing situations, the 2 episodes, the second episode is really where everything starts rolling toward the direction of your plot and everything. So I think it was very purposeful to get more people involved that are more casual, that they get more of the story up front. Rather than, us who would just watch 1 episode and be happy with it no matter what was shown. So I think that was a very strategic thing. I don't believe that is going to be like the Disney formula, but I think it was purposefully done for this show because of the type of story it is.
Okay. Mayhem, your thoughts on the 2-episode premiere, and go ahead.
I think they blew it out the box. I think they did a great job with this. I haven't heard anything about rewriting about this. I think this series, WandaVision, is going to be awesome, and it's going to open up so many different things. I think Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, and everybody else just like really came with it and delivered. Them giving us a 2-episode premiere, like Sammy said, it's going to be a slow burn, but it's like whatever they give us is not going to be enough. It's going to leave us with more questions. And it's going to drive me insane because I would love to let it burn, let it like finish, and then watch everything, binge watch it. But I got to come on the show and talk about it because like every episode is going to be something new. People are going to be talking about this. I cannot wait for how this sets up future movies. I cannot wait to see how this sets up future shows and series, because I think this is going to be like the bar. And then when it finishes, it's just going to be like, I don't know where everything is going. So like, I'm excited. I am fully excited. Watch me next week. I
think we need to give him something to slow him down next week. We're not going to be able to keep up with him.
Right? He's gonna take. We're gonna have to cool him down. I mean, open up the door and cool yourself down a bit. The excitement. Leslie, do you see this being a problem between the Marvel and DC line, with both of them pretty much premiering within just days apart from each other, but Marvel sort of getting the upper hand by giving us 2 episodes, while Batwoman's just going to give us the 1 episode?
Listen, Marvel has been getting the upper hand for some time now, so this ain't nothing new. But I will say something about what has really captured us as an audience is the cliffhanger. The fact that we have to come back and not consume all this content at one time, because then we're not coming back. We're not vested. We're not, we'll watch a whole series and then come back and talk about it and be like, But right now they are containing our excitement by releasing 2 episodes and then you have to come back the following week and watch another episode. Oh, we are all in. It's just like what people used to do in the old cliffhangers back in the day when you listened to radio. You came back. You were a constant consumer, and that is exactly what they have done. I don't know how long the first 2 episodes are. I don't know if it's a 45-minute episode, an hour episode, but you basically have like a whole movie that you're watching there. And then people are going to come back. They're going to end it with a cliffhanger, and then you're going to come back the following week and watch it. And we're going to be just as hyped about it as we are right now.
Right. Are you ready for the hype, Bergy?
Oh, I'm on. I bought my ticket for the hype train. Let's go. I'm down. You look at it this way. Think about it this way. What was the last Marvel thing that was produced that was on the big screen that we watched? Spider-Man, right? That was back in June or July, basically, of 2019. So we haven't seen anything in almost 18 months. Yeah, we're rabid fans right now. We can't wait for this. We should have gotten this stuff earlier last year, and we had to push it back because of COVID, filming, and everything like that. I think this is a brilliant marketing ploy for them, and you're going to see this happening with a lot more series, I think, going forward. I've been saying this for like 2 years now for Stranger Things. I don't know why they don't do that, to do episodic-wise on Netflix, because I think that it would make better sense where people would tune in weekly to watch this. Instead, it's like everything's dropped at one time. They binge it for the weekend. Yeah, the hottest thing out, and then you're kind of nobody knows. This is going to keep the fans' interest growing for the next 6-7 weeks, because we're going to tune in weekly. We're going to want to see this. We're going to dive in every little detail, the Easter eggs. What plot lines is that going to open for something else? Does that mean something from a previous movie, TV show going forward? And now we're seeing Marvel getting into the realm of they're going to wreck what DC did with their TV series, with the CW. Like, they're basically going to tell you, like, nah, here's how you do it right, son. Like, get in line, take notes. We're going to teach you how to do it right. Maybe they should take these notes and do this for their movies, because Marvel's killing them. Marvel is going to destroy them in TV series now. And the only way they're going to catch up is if it's HBO Max can get on board and do something proper.
So we're going to look at a complete shift because of DC pretty much cutting all their shows off the CW and throwing it on their app. Are we now going to see like the new shift in TV series? Like, as Bergy's going to say, is Marvel now going to get the upper hand on what DC has built and what Marvel has been, I guess, years behind on?
I think
Whoever
so.
wants to jump in first?
I agree.
I mean, me personally, I think you think about it this way. DC has done, what's the big one that they've always tackled? Superman, which was Smallville. Beyond that, they haven't tackled any of their big 3 or their big hitters from Justice League.
Arrow was good. Flash was good for them.
Right.
We're strong series.
Right, but they haven't done anything like you haven't done. Like Superman was a Batman. Everyone's been asking for a Batman TV series. They've not given us that. They probably never will. So they went with some of their other B-listers.
Gotham was good. It was their version of Batman.
It was a team.
But, all of that was pre-COVID. What are they doing right now in COVID? What are they doing?
Nothing.
I'll go with that one. Okay.
Nothing. And Marvel's going to come in and bring in like Winter Soldier Falcon. You've got Wanda and Vision. You've got Loki, one of the big villains. Then you're going to do the What If series. And you're bringing in She-Hulk. You're bringing in, Ms. Marvel. You're bringing all these characters. And DC's going, we got the Snyder Cut. Does anybody remember Snyder Cut? That's all they got.
Still coming out.
Right.
Still coming
That's
out.
it. Yeah, that's it.
It's just bad.
Right.
And
So we have
Marvel
too.
Marvel's
Right, we have-
filling the void, though. That's what's happening. Because DC could have done it, but they've got their heads so far up their rectums that they can see out of their own mouths. But Marvel's smart about coming in and filling the void, basically.
Sammy, DC couldn't do it because their writing has been trash.
Yeah, true. Well, if their writing wasn't trash.
Now that's true. But woulda, shoulda, coulda.
That's right.
Done now.
Exactly. Well, they don't.
Right.
They don't listen to their fan base. Is the problem?
And they don't have fans writing the content.
Exactly.
Well, they did, because if you watch what DC did, DC gave us something that Marvel wasn't going to do, and that was the theatrical release for everyone at home for HBO Max. While Marvel is still waiting to have a theatrical release. DC did one thing right, and they learned from their I guess whatever mistake you want to call it isn't a mistake, because it did clear for everyone to just go, all right, we're still on the Linda Carter bandwagon of now seeing Gal Gadot and Linda Carter now on the big screen. The
But is
feed's
it
just going on and on.
No,
but is
What?
it too little? Is it too little too late, Hash?
No,
The thing
I
is,
don't think so. I don't think so, because DC was smart by not getting theatrical release, by getting people on their side. Granted, in just a few months, in March, we're gonna have Justice League. Granted, we're also gonna have a giant void. Marvel was also minutes ahead by postponing everything to almost this year with all their shows. We discussed the September, November release dates for WandaVision and then pushing it back. We discussed Black Widow coming out almost the same exact time as Wonder Woman, and including having a Christmas release, while they pushed it back as well too. Right now, this is now on the app game. Who's going to win the app game?
Disney.
DC made the choice by only releasing one show on CW. They're going to win for that. While we also forget, a lot of people have not gone to these subscriptions. Disney currently has more than 50 million viewers compared to what HBO has, because no one's jumped on HBO's bandwagon. Their new foresight is now based on Static Shock and Batgirl for their HBO Max series. HBO looks like Marvel when they started this, when DC was way ahead of them on their TV side. Marvel's now caught up on TV, but through the app game. So this has now become a cat and mouse.
I agree, but what has been the most successful? The thing is that you have to look at it. They may have caught up about it, but it is too late. It's like somebody running a race and the other person is like far ahead and they're just now catching up. I'm saying they have a lot of work to do to get to the momentum that Marvel has. They have a lot of work behind them. If they could get it done rapidly, I'm on board, because they still have a fan base. We all still love DC's content, good or bad. We still want to see them succeed. We want to see them succeed. We don't want them to fail, but they've got to get themselves together. They've got to get up to this level. What I want to see is a competitive race. That's exciting to me. Right now, Marvel is slaying this. They're hitting it out the box.
Yes, give us the old school Comic-Con wars, where at the end the federal government had to put both companies down and have an actual versus war. People forget the war of 90, was it 94, 95, where literally the federal government put Marvel versus DC and had the fans decide who was going to win. And guess what? There was an actual tie at the end. But certain characters that you loved lost to certain other characters. Mayhem, you look like you're holding on to something. Go ahead.
There's so much I wanted to say. In order for it to be a competition, you have to be on the same requirements and qualifications. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Marvel is out here, and Disney, building a universe, building a cohesive universe, not necessarily dictated by rights and all these patents, not necessarily dictated where I have a TV show series where I can only include certain actors and certain characters, and I can't cross with the movies universe. You know what I'm saying? DC needs to rebuild. They need to rebuild. Yes, they were the first to do it, but much like anything, just because you're the first to do it doesn't make you great. Hell, we get Xbox Series, whatever, and then people are like, I'm going to wait till the second version comes out because the first one might be bad. And generally, they're right. Just because they were the first to come on Max. Okay, we talked about Wonder Woman, the actual movie. It wasn't all that great. Shout out to Linda Carter. Shout out to the references and all that good stuff. But it's just like, okay, so what now? What now? Because here it is. We're building a universe. So that way, when we do come to theatrical releases, we're going to blow you out the water. But you were here first. What are you doing? It doesn't.
Yep.
All I'm saying is DC needs to rebuild.
I think in terms of to speak upon what you were saying about how Disney is building a cohesive universe that's not limited by licenses and property copyrights and who's got what. There's a big difference between Disney and Warner Brothers, and that's money. Disney will throw, and this has been since Walt Disney ran the company. If it is a quality thing and they believe it is going to give a quality product to their viewer, to their people, that will return the money 10, 15 fold. They will throw as much money as they need to get it done, because that is how the company ran since its inception.
Right.
Almost since its inception. Warner Brothers does not do that. Warner Brothers also doesn't have the coffers that Disney had. You know, so the whole jumping around between liabilities and stuff, and it's a fault in the thinking of Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers should be thinking like Disney in that, okay, you guys are demanding Spider-Man be in the Marvel movies, we're going to get that license. And the same thing with, you know, DC. If there's characters that we want to see that they don't have the license for, well, then they should buy the license and get it so we can see it, so that we can get what we want. But the thing is what Leslie said, fans are not creating the content. In Marvel, they get fans to create the content. I mean, just look at Mandalorian. Rosario Dawson was fan casted when somebody did fan art of her as Ahsoka. And then it got shared, and now she's Ahsoka. That's listening to your fans. And that is a huge Disney thing. And Warner Brothers, if they can't get that in their heads, that, you know, they need to get not just professionals, but professionals that know and love the content, they're never going to even ascend to half of Disney's level.
Right. And speaking of that, Marvel is jumping right on that, especially when it comes to Star Wars, and that is having Feige assemble in Star Wars. Fans know and love Kevin Feige and everything that he's done, and he's including his favorite writer for Loki and Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. But is this a step to include a Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. to come in and join the Star Wars lore? Would you guys like to see Chris Evans, or let's just say Robert Downey Jr., play a Jedi or Sith Lord? Yeah. Sammy, let's start with you. Is this the right direction where Disney now just, you know, they're grabbing the Marvel mantle and we're going to throw Marvel heroes into Star Wars lore and we're going to go through that?
So once upon a time, before the 60s, actors were signed onto production companies. They didn't jump around films. That you were assigned to Paramount or Warner Brothers, and whatever films came out under that movie house, you did. And if it was a good role for you, they told you to take it. And we're kind of starting to see that sort of production company loyalty again, especially with, you know, Kevin Feige. And if Kevin Feige thinks that these two actors can, you know, do the roles that they need to, which they're both fantastic actors, I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't see why they shouldn't be included in there. They're actors just like anyone else. I mean, did you think Ewan McGregor was going to be a great Obi-Wan when you first saw him? You know, so I think, you know, Feige knows what he's doing. He's as much a Marvel fan as he is a Star Wars fan. And pretty much everything that man has guided has done right. I mean, and he can't do any worse than the current what's her name, who's the head of Lucasfilm, that keeps changing stuff because you know. So I would like to see them. I would like to see them in it, like just to see what they would do.
Right, Mayhem. Could you see some of your favorite Marvel characters in Star Wars?
Hell yeah. Listen. It's great to remember them, how we fell in love with them. You know, some people fell in love with Tobey Maguire, right? As Spider-Man, some people. But forget, like, he was in other movies. Seabiscuit, I think, was it Great Gatsby he made an appearance of, whatever the case is, right? Definitely, let's get Mr. Downey Jr. and Chris in it. Why not? We want the Star Wars, the franchise and the universe to expand. Let them have their moment. And you know the writing is going to be great. If anything, The Mandalorian has set the precedent on. Kevin is all right. Don't worry. I'm going to give you your favorites. We may have him do a little something different. You fall in love with it. And the writing, which you guys came for, the lore, the product is going to be, mwah, please please, sir, may I have some more? Like, come on, give me another. Give me
You're-
another. Come on.
But you're about to get more, granted, because we've seen Samuel L. Jackson now play the dual role. Could we see guys like Falcon? Could we finally get, Sebastian to play a certain role that we've all been itching for? Could we see Evans do something? I mean, imagine Downey somewhere in one of these, a villain or cameo somewhere. Go ahead, Leslie.
Honestly, I thought when he finally left the whole Avengers franchise, when Downey left the Avengers franchise, he had the biggest smile on his face, and now I know why. Because his story was not going to end. He knew that he was going to probably walk into another franchise, and here we are now, talking about him possibly being in the Star Wars franchise with Chris Evans and everybody else who has disappeared from the Marvel universe per se. I would definitely love to see either one of them in a role. To me, Robert Downey Jr. can do no wrong. So having him come in, I would take my money. That's all I have to say. Chris Evans, take my money. Take my money.
Take my money.
Yeah, I'll throw it to you. Take it.
Even if it's stupid as maybe I don't know, he makes a super suit in the Star Wars lore, he makes something silly like that, or he ends up talking to the strange animals. Granted, we had the Luke Skywalker weird moment and everything. Would you just eat it up, Bergy?
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do, and I think it's right. Feige has the right idea. He's bringing name actors that are box office, gold blockbusters. Yeah, they're box office gold. So bringing in somebody like that. But my only downfall, and I hope it doesn't do it, is you don't cast type them into the same style characters as they were in the Marvel universe, because then you're gonna feel the fans like, well, it's just Iron Man again, but he's in a Boba Fett uniform. That's what we're gonna get. I hope he doesn't play that role. I'd like to see him as a villain. I'd love to see him play somebody, even if it's an evil, dictator on a planet, or he is a Sith Lord. I'd like to see that. I know I'm going to see Chris Evans as a good guy. Why not have him as a bad guy? Swap up their roles a little bit. I think it would be great. We're going to see them in this universe, and I'm going to be happy about it. I think it's exactly like Les said. When Robert Downey Jr. walked away, he knew he was going to be set for somewhere, because Feige probably told him, hey, I might be getting a movie with Star Wars. Would you be interested? And he was like,
right.
back the truck up to the front yard and dump the money on. I'm down. And they know they're going to make $1 billion on it, whatever movie he makes with it.
Right before Leslie comments and everything, because Robert Downey Jr. has one more Guy Ritchie movie. He's got one more Dr. Holmes movie, and then after that, Sherlock Holmes movie. Then after that, he goes back to Disney. God, Leslie.
No, I was going to say one thing that it's a missing component here that a lot of us as actors know is that directors like working with actors that they like working with, and then it makes it a very comfortable set. It is a very nepotistic business, and this is one of the reasons why you don't burn any bridges in this business, because you want to make sure that you come back for work. They obviously have a chemistry, and you will see them again, because they like working and they make it fun to go to work every day. I mean, we all know what it's like when you don't work with people that you don't like, that they like working with each other.
Could we see with Feige creating a new trilogy? Maybe, hopefully, we're not getting an extended version of Skywalker series. Could we see another trilogy with, I guess, Feige's assembled cast?
I'd like to see what they would do with the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
You said an old Republic, and what was that?
Before Anakin, because we've seen after Anakin and Luke. Let's see before that, where was Yoda 400 years ago? Because there were hundreds of Jedi back then. There wasn't just a little council. There was hundreds of Jedi and hundreds of Sith. I mean, and they all had fucking jumping around superpowers and everything. So why wouldn't you want to have your favorite, actors from Marvel do that kind of stuff, right?
Right. But as actually, we're going to have to cut it to a time right now, and that's a discussion for all of us to discuss for later down the line. If you have something to say, especially for the Star Wars and Kevin Feige starting his assemble and everything, give us a comment, give us a like, follow all of our lovely Instagram that you see scrolling right below us as well too. You can catch Sammy every Wednesday on her show. Go and check out her Facebook page at Castillo Studios. You can catch this man right below me. Catch him on his podcast, Last Stop on the L. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. You can catch the lovely lady to the very end, Leslie Frye, every Friday on the Tingling Tea. You can catch the man to the very right next to me, Mr. Michael Bergy. Catch him on Tuesdays with This Week in Toy Culture. My name is Arash Zandieh. Thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, follow us on all of our social medias, and we will see you all next week with This Week in Pop Culture. Good night, everyone.